Have you ever wondered about the untold story of the saintly figure Mother Teresa? Let's step back in time to Skopje, then part of the Ottoman Empire, where a young girl named Anjeze Gongshe Boyakshu was born. This young girl, who we know today as Mother Teresa, felt a calling from a tender age. A calling so strong it was as if a voice whispered to her soul, imploring her to serve the less fortunate. And serve she did. Leaving the familiarity of her home, she embarked on a journey that took her to the distant shores of Ireland and later, India. Here she donned the robes of a nun and took on the name Sister Teresa. Her devotion to alleviating the suffering of the poor was remarkable. Over time, her relentless service earned her the title Mother Teresa. Her life seemed simple, almost mundane, but beneath the surface an extraordinary story was unfolding. The humble nun in the streets of Calcutta was yet to become an international symbol of charity. In 1950, Mother Teresa founded the Missionaries of Charity, but was it all as altruistic as it seemed? This organization, born from Teresa's deep-rooted desire to serve the poorest of the poor, quickly became a global symbol of selfless service. It promised a sanctuary to those most in need, offering a lifeline to the destitute and the dying. But as the Missionaries of Charity grew in fame, disturbing details began to emerge from behind the veil of reverence. Critics pointed to the poor living conditions endured by those in the organization's care. The lack of medical attention, the overcrowded homes, the scarcity of basic necessities. These were not the signs of a haven for the impoverished. And then there was the emphasis on suffering. Teresa's belief that suffering brought individuals closer to Christ led to a culture where pain was not eased, but rather embraced. This created a troubling paradox within the organization. The Missionaries of Charity, formed to alleviate suffering, was now accused of perpetuating it. Behind the scenes, the Missionaries of Charity was not the haven it was perceived to be. The stark contrast between the public image and the private reality led many to question the true nature of Mother Teresa's mission. Scene script: Mother Teresa, the Nobel Peace Prize laureate, was not without controversy. So, what's the ugly truth? Well, beneath the veneer of selfless service and compassion, darker allegations have surfaced over the years. Critics argue that Mother Teresa accepted donations from questionable sources, including dictators and corrupt business magnates. Her critics accuse her of turning a blind eye to their misdeeds, in favor of financial contributions to her charitable endeavors. Moreover, Mother Teresa's stance on poverty and suffering has been a point of contention. She often proclaimed that suffering brought individuals closer to God, a view that many found troubling. Critics argue that this belief led to subpar living conditions and inadequate medical care in her establishments despite the ample funds at her disposal. And speaking of medical care, the medical community has voiced its concerns as well. The care provided in her homes was often described as lacking in hygiene, adequate staffing, proper medical equipment, and pain management. Some went as far as to describe the conditions as inhumane, a stark contrast to the image of compassion and care that Mother Teresa projected. Then there's the debate surrounding her canonization. The Vatican attributes 2 miracles to Mother Teresa, both medical cures deemed unexplainable by science. Yet skeptics question the validity of these miracles, pointing to possible medical explanations and arguing that the Church may have been too hasty in its desire to canonize her. The saintly image of Mother Teresa hides a much more complex and controversial figure. Yes, she was a woman of deep faith who dedicated her life to serving the poor. But the controversies surrounding her remind us that even saints are human, subject to scrutiny and criticism. They compel us to look beyond the halo at the complex, flawed, and undeniably human individual underneath. Mother Teresa left a legacy that continues to spark debates, but what's the final verdict? The essence of her story is one of compassion and dedication, yet it's shrouded in controversy. In the heart of Kolkata, she established a beacon of hope for the destitute and the dying, but the ugly truth can't be overlooked. Critics have pointed out the lack of medical care and the sometimes squalid conditions in her homes for the dying, casting a shadow over her work. Her methods, often viewed as unorthodox, have been questioned for their ethics and effectiveness. The controversies didn't end with her passing. Even her canonization, the ultimate recognition of sainthood, stirred controversy. Some argue it was hasty, others that it was a recognition long overdue. Still, her legacy persists, a testament to her enduring influence. Despite the debates, her name remains synonymous with selfless service and charity. Yet the question remains, was she a symbol of selfless charity or a controversial figure? The legacy of Mother Teresa, a symbol of selfless charity or a controversial figure, is for you to decide.